All right, I'm about to introduce everyone to the wonderful, wonderful group here that we have. I'm just so excited. So, usually, hello everybody, Misha Saffron here. Usually, I am doing a podcast on the coexistence of joy, pain, and the truth of it all. And today, and next week, and the week after, I'm excited because the women who are creating and presenting workshops for the retreat I created are going to be here. I'm going to be introducing them. We're going to be talking about who they are, their workshops they're leading, as well as the retreat itself. And so, Wise Women Leading Workshops for the International Joy and Resilience Retreat for moms of preteens and teens, and really all women. So please don't exclude yourself from this amazing event. I'm going to let the women introduce themselves. We're going to talk about how we dance in the storms with grace. And we're going to talk about the retreat. So stay tuned. Here we go. I'm going to pull everybody up and ba-boom. Hello, everybody. Go ahead and unmute yourselves. Yeah, I think some people are unmuted, and or maybe I have to unmute you. Hello, Shirley. Hello, Gaelle. Hello, Jenn. Hello, Renee. Hello, Kareen. Hello, Rebecca. Woohoo! This is so exciting. Hello, everyone. So what I'd love to do is first have all of us just kind of take turns talking a little bit about, how have you danced in the storms and where have you found your grace? And I'll start with just a little example. So I have been through a lot of different things in my life. And the older I get, the wiser I get. Does anybody resonate to that?
Yes.
So I would say that the most recent experience that felt like a storm was over the winter holiday when my father ended up in the hospital. And I was 3,000 miles away. And my first instinct was, call the airports or airplane provider, get a flight, go out to California. And I was able to just kind of take a deep breath and realize, there's really not a whole hell of a lot I could do out there because it's COVID. His wife can't go to the hospital with him. So I was able to really kind of just feel the feelings. And I took a deep breath, and a few of them actually. I didn't hyperventilate, but I did take a few deep breaths. And it was amazing because as soon as I collected myself, everything else felt calm. So while there still was a storm, we didn't know fully what was going on with my father. He was getting great care. Like I didn't have to jump and rescue because I wasn't going to be able to rescue anyways. So my one tip with this topic for myself is, and to give to others, is that breath, that moment to pause and think, wait a minute, what can I really do? And for me, and this is what I teach my parents when I coach, is when we take care of ourselves, we actually are able to avoid a lot of conflict. So there you go. That's my 2 cents about dancing in the storm with grace. And I don't mean Grace, a woman. My partner wouldn't be happy about that. My partner's name is Jody. So if I dance with Grace, I'll be in trouble. I know. Thanks for the complimentary laughs. That was really nice of you guys. Who wants to go next? Tell me about how you. Yeah, please do, Rebecca.
So I guess I would say my most recent storm, which was for most of us, was just when COVID first hit. I was working in my coaching business, but I was also helping my husband still in his painting business, which was our main source of income. And then everything shut down. And so we weren't allowed to go paint any houses, which is where our income was. And, we're sitting there kind of just rustling, trying to figure out, what are we going to do? Should we keep on painting? Should we do something else for now? And, I remembered in this storm that through every storm, there's always an opportunity. And so sitting there and stressing out and freaking out like I would have back in the days. And I remembered that I never, ever solved anything in that. I never anything got better. It didn't bring any more money in. And so I just started looking at it as opportunity so that I can pour more into my coaching business, that I could start reading more books and working out more and really taking care of me. And in doing that, everything else just kind of worked itself out. But I know that if I would have fallen apart in the storm, I would have just stayed in it. The storm would have gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, instead of just saying, breathe. What do I have control of? What can I do right now? And so I just said, this is some me time. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, somebody gave you a heart, and whoever's watching, thank you. Tell us where you're watching from, please, in the comments. That'd be great. Who would like to go next? Shall I go?
Don't be shy.
Okay, I got Shirley and then Renee, because Renee's hand popped up, and then I heard Gaelle's voice, and now you also get to go. So Shirley, then Renee, then Gaelle. That's how I roll, you guys. That's how I roll. Go, Shirley.
I think for me, sometimes when you're in that storm, you think life's happening at you and not for you. And for me, it's just to take that moment to think, what have I got to learn here? It's an opportunity to learn and embrace it as best you can. And one of the analogies I've got in my life is, every cloud has a silver lining. It's just how long the sun takes to come out. And and that kind of helps me take a perspective on it. And more often than not, if there's a storm going on, you'll find me here in my kitchen baking up a storm. So it's kind of a stress reliever for me as well, as I kind of deflect my, that anxiety and overwhelm. Sometimes it comes with it, to just something very simple, just being creative. And even though as women we should be multitasking, trust me, when I'm in my kitchen, don't talk to me, because I'm so concentrating on what I'm doing. I can't have that conversation at the same time. And I think that's what I love about my baking. It's so absorbing, so
that's great.
Yeah. So those are just a number of things that I do when just everything is storming around me, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And you were baking today. You want to show everybody what you were baking today?
I was. Yeah. My chocolate stout cake, or chocolate Guinness cake. So put some chocolate ruffles on the top, just baked for you, freshly for today. So
fabulous. Well, wait a minute. You just said a few minutes ago it was for my partner's birthday. Now where are you getting my cake? It's a little far to send it this way.
We're all invited to the party, right?
Right, of course. Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Shirley. Okay, Renee, you're up.
Okay. Yeah, my most recent storm was, I was in the middle of teaching a 2-day class, and my brother and my sister both messaged me that my mom was not doing it, and I was just, really, really, upset. I live across an international border, so it's kind of hard to just jump over and see her, and plus I had this commitment that I was going on. So what it just kind of made me so nervous and crazy and not at peace, and I just felt the storms rising inside me, and then I just knew that the best thing that I could start doing was just start singing peace. And I just started singing peace, 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 peace. And after about 5 minutes of doing that over and over and over and over again, I felt peaceful enough to actually be able to meditate and to be able to figure out what my next indicated step actually was, and being able to be of service to my mom and the rest of my family in the situation.
Isn't that a gift? Yeah. Music is a real, I don't know about anybody else. Does anybody else feel like music kind of heals your soul? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm glad that, is your mom okay? Is she okay now? Okay. So always afraid to ask the next question, but yeah, good. Well, we'll continue to send loving thoughts for her. Thank you, Renee. All right, Gaelle, don't be shy, right?
Yeah, no, me, I think the last storm was March 2020 as well, when COVID started, because everyone was advised to stay at home. And I learned that my mom, I don't know how she managed it, but she managed to go in Africa. She was in Cameroon, and there was nowhere for her to go back in France. And I was ready really close to lose the plot, because between the calls between the embassies and with her, and I know she's healthy, but she needs to be taken care of, and she has a lot of different medicine. It was really it was really a test for me, to test my resilience, but also to realize that everything happened for a reason. And I needed just to step back and just to say, okay, your mom is fine. Everything is going to be fine. And you're here to support her no matter what. So it was really a question to step back and to have this face, knowing that it will be fine. And I was really, really close to lose the plot. It was really, it was really tense. But I managed to say to them again, all it, you can handle it. If it's happening for me, I can handle it. So that's what I said. And but yes, it was something.
Yeah. Anybody relate? I mean, we have, it's very, very challenging. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that vulnerable moment. Meant probably many months of vulnerability. Yeah. All right. So Jenn or Kareen, who wants to go next?
Sure, I can go. Oh, go ahead, Jenn. Go ahead.
Let's see, what comes first? J before K, I guess, in the alphabet, or we go backwards, whatever. Okay, Jenn, go ahead, and then Kareen.
So, thank you for having all of us, Misha. I resonated with everything that has been said so far. Really, for me, the time that comes to my mind right away is, when my dad died, and it felt like he had been through a 3-year cancer healing journey, but we were so focused on healing, even though his body was like, he looked like a skeleton when he died. I mean, but it's still, there was this hope of like, oh, there's going to be a miracle, even down to that last week, there's going to be a miracle, and then it's going to be great, And so just when the reality of, no, he's actually dying, and he died, I just was at a loss. I had never had a loss that big in my life of a parent. And I had a couple mentors that told me, just, this is your opportunity to learn from grief, to let grief be your teacher and to walk with it. And you're going to walk with it all year, through all the seasons, all the holidays, all the milestones. And then at the end of the year, we'll hold a soul releasing ceremony for you and your mom. So I really took that to heart, and that gave me this peace in the storm, so that it was like, I didn't have to rush, I didn't have to like get over it. I didn't have to barrel through it. I didn't have to push through it. I didn't have to, whatever. I had a whole year, and I was going to walk. And I literally did actually a lot of walking. And I just spoke to this yesterday, like just the physical act of walking outside in the fresh air, in nature, through the woods. That was just really medicine for me, to walk with my pain and with the storm and with my grief. So that's something was a real balm, healing balm for me.
Wow. Yeah, I can really relate to that. That first week of my mom's death was really hard, and it was really important to walk through everything. And I think it actually relates to what everybody's saying. And we're talking about slowing down, pausing, identifying, becoming aware, and not jumping, reacting, and freaking out. Right? It's about really being with the feelings, and that's what creates joy and resilience. Which is, but we'll go there in just a minute, because Kareen, you must go first.
I love the way you say my name. I love it.
Oh, is it wrong? Am I saying it wrong?
No, I'm saying you're saying it in French, which is
good.
awesome.
Okay.
I love it. It's rare that Anglophones say it in French, so I love it.
You're in Canada, right?
Oui.
Oui. Alors, Gaelle est française, et puis Kareen est canadienne. Alors, voilà.
Excellent français. So I
I kind of want to piggyback a little bit on what Jenn was saying, because basically I went through this with my mom in 2018. So this year will be the third year, June 30th. So next week is the anniversary date. And it just happened very suddenly. The same thing, you know, she was diagnosed with a tumor, and then very quickly it just degenerated. And it felt like I was not ready for it, you know, just 3 weeks, you know, and even though the doctors gave her 3 months, and it seemed that she made the decision not to fight. And I had to truly accept that. And I think that was the hardest thing, because, you know, as Jenn was saying, you know, we were believing in healing and we just felt it and we knew it, but she made the decision and we had to come to peace with that. And so letting go, you know, of wanting her to stay was huge, right? And so it was really, as I, you know, went into intimacy with God and just released her, you know, that I was able to celebrate, you know, her passing. And she just, you know, went at home, you know, surrounded by her family. And my brother, who lives in Saudi Arabia, had a chance to get there real quick, like in the nick of time. So he made it. And that was a huge blessing, because it would have been hard for him to know that she passed and he wasn't there. So I have to say that even though it just caught us all off guard, but God really just kind of, you know, stepped in and allowed us to live, you know, the experience in a very graceful way. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Give some love to everybody. Yeah. Well, we are a bunch of joyful and resilient women, aren't we? So how much more qualified could we be to be facilitating workshops at this amazing retreat? And I can say that because I used to not toot my own horn, but I'm going to toot it. And I'm going to toot my own horn because of all of you. That's right. Because this International Joy and Resilience Retreat for women, for moms, for whatever hats these women wear, they get to have this day off to enjoy relaxing and playing. So what I'd like to do is I'm just going to kind of start in order of the way you came on the call, for you to share one thing that you're looking for on other women to know, that you're excited about. And I'm going to make you be quick because we're already at 3:18 p.m. Eastern time. So, and I want to make sure we get an opportunity for you to talk about your workshops, things like that. So just a quick response, one thing that you're each excited about or looking forward to with regards to the retreat. Rebecca, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just excited for the opportunity that women even have to get together to do this, because it's so easy for us to feel so exhausted or left behind, especially as mothers. And to be able to just take a day where we can go and refresh and recharge is super, super exciting. And women just doing it together to say we're not on the journey alone. That gets me excited every time. Women not doing the journey alone. Super important.
Love it. Thank you. Woo-hoo. All right, Shirley.
I just think the program that you've put together, the sort of, is it the eight themes, is just so well connected, and it's an opportunity for all of us, any of the, you know, even us participating, but even those who are going to come to the event, is that they might be looking down that list and maybe thinking, oh, maybe not that, but it's actually an opportunity to find out more about any of those that you might think don't apply to you. Don't mean it's such a safe environment, and an opportunity to explore and be curious and to be nourished.
Love that too. Curiosity. Yes, it's a beautiful thing. Thank you. Renee. Oh, hold on, I have to unmute you. Okay,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm excited that we're having 32 women from all over the world, because I like getting perspective. I like thinking of myself as a citizen of the world, and I love hearing that it's that the issues that I'm seeing happening in my home country are issues that other people are dealing with all over the world in different ways, and it just makes me feel like, okay, I'm not alone. We're not alone. We're all in this together on this planet.
Yeah. Yeah. So piggybacking on the idea of we are in this together, it's a global connection, right? So while there are 32 of us from all over the world, there's going to be so many more. Hopefully, if you're watching, you can register. We'll send you the link. But yeah, thank you, Renee. Awesome. Okay, Gaelle.
Yes, I'm very excited because I love the spirit behind this.
Gaelle, unmute. Oh, there you are.
You can hear me? Yeah? Yes. Now, I was saying, yeah, I'm very excited because I love the spirit, joy and resilience. It's not often that basically I see an event combining both of them. And I love it that it's not even only about resilience, but because you feel better, you can really be joyful and really enjoy your life. And it's such a great time for women to be all together and to pamper themselves. So yeah, that's why I'm very excited about it.
Beautiful. Thank you. Kareen. Oh, no, Jill. Whoops. I went out of order. Jenn. Actually, Kareen did arrive first, but that's okay. Jenn, go ahead.
I'm so excited about the Get Playful segment. I just had a playful weekend with my clients last weekend, and there's just so much lightness and joy that we can forget about when we have all the things to do and all the people to take care of, and just so I love that Get Playful is one of the themes. So I'm really looking forward to attending a Get Playful workshop. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Did something weird. Kareen, can you hear me? Your turn. Okay.
Yes. Love what everybody said, and not to repeat, but I just love women's retreats. And this particular one is so amazing because, it's focused on joy and resilience. And those things have to increase in our lives, especially when you're a mom of teens and preteens. So I think that this resource is not only amazing, but also very, very timely and very useful. So I'm really excited and very honored to be part of it. So
thank you. Exciting. Yay. And Kareen and I have something in common, which is that we both raised 5 kids. So it's like, woo. Oh, you have 5 kids too, Rebecca? I had no idea. Oh my goodness. Wow. So if people are watching this, we're joyful and we're resilient and we're still here and we raised 5 kids. So you can show up and enjoy yourselves as well. Okay, awesome. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to introduce each of you. I want you to just give a very short synopsis of your workshop and maybe even a split second of your credentials and why you're doing what you're doing. And so Rebecca, we'll start with you. Rebecca, your workshop is called How to Become Your Own Best Friend, or BFF, Best Friend Forever. I love that. So go ahead and tell us a little bit more.
Hi, I am Rebecca, and I am a fitness and confidence coach. And I'm super excited about this workshop because we've done so many things in our life to build our relationships with other people and to try to be the best parent we can be. But we kind of tend to leave ourselves behind sometimes or feel guilty about wanting to invest in us. And so I love to be able to mentor women in the fact that as we learn to become our own best friend through self-love and self-care, but I like to go deeper into it's not just something that we hear on social media, like I need to take a bubble bath and then that's self-care, to really get into the depths of discovering what self-care and self-love is and how we can start doing strategies and techniques to start learning to love ourselves more. but that we're not saying, I'm not going to grow. We're still growing in everywhere we can in our life, but learning to love ourselves now, like right where we are, so that we can start building better relationships with other people and start getting to where our dreams and goals are by first learning to love and accept us as we are today. And so it's huge to learn self-acceptance. And it's a lot of things that a lot of us women especially struggle with, because we have this expectation on ourselves of being perfect people instead of learning to like love ourselves right where we are today.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Yay. Woo. I'm looking forward to that workshop too. Yay. And Rebecca, remind us, in which segment are you? Because there are 8 segments. What category? What team?
I'm in the, oh my gosh, I just had a, I'm in.
That's okay. Honor all of you, right? Honor all of you?
Yes.
Yes. Honor all of you.
Honor all of you.
Awesome. Okay. Awesome. Wonderful. And that makes a lot of sense. We're talking about self-care, self-love, compassion. Wonderful. All right. Shirley, how to make chocolate melting moments. Go ahead and share us a little bit of what you're doing.
Hi, folks. My name is Shirley Quarmby, and my little bit of the show is going to be in Get Playful. And I'm in my playful area right now. This is my sandpit. You'll find me in here with my bucket and spade, and that is what baking is to me. Sometimes baking gets a bad rap for calories and all the healthy living and drives that we get in our news and on our social media feeds these days. But to me, baking is so much more than, just calories. For a start, you don't even have to eat it if you don't want it to, because you can share it with somebody else. And for me, my baking has always been, it's been about developing skill. It has the same effect on our brains like learning a new language or, learning to knit or whatever it is, that new skill. But for me, it's about self-confidence and self-esteem as I've grown with my baking, and I've challenged myself with, starting out, looking at a picture, thinking, how did I make that? And I've worked it out. And to actually achieve something like that is just fantastic. And then, as I say, to complete the circle has been able to share it with somebody. So my little workshop will be about baking chocolate melting moments, and it's a very simple little cookie that we're going to make. And I'll talk a little bit about my story and, how I've got into baking, and how I got to also go to Le Cordon Bleu and get a professional patisserie qualification as well. So I'd be delighted if you could come and join me and get playful in my sandpit here in my kitchen. Can't wait to meet you all.
That's awesome. And Shirley, one of the things I remember us talking about at one point is that you have developed a huge amount of confidence and esteem through your baking. And there was a time where you were trying to bake things over and over again that you ended up giving them to the food pantry, right? That you're actually feeding, not just sharing it with friends, but actually giving it to people who don't have food, right?
That's right.
Do I remember correctly? Okay.
Yeah, that's correct. So I do a lot of recipe development and recipe testing that comes with it. And I just can't help myself. And I'd have a serious problem if I was eating it all. So I've got a relationship with my local food bank, and so they get all my totally edible sort of tested recipes and that. And sometimes it'll go to their clients that are on their books, but it also goes to the volunteers, who run that. Awesome. So I'm always delighted for it to go to a good home.
Yeah, that's fabulous. Okay, here we go. Thank you so much, Shirley. Renee is presenting Soul Portal's Journeys, the map of our inspirational creative process. And Renee, which theme are you presenting in? Do you remember?
Yeah, I'm in Trust Yourself.
That's right. Yes, of course.
That totally fits, because sometimes, as we're up leveling and we're letting go of old patterns and we're letting go of old beliefs, and we're like, the world seems like completely new and like brand new territory. And when I hit that a couple of years ago, I'm like, okay, I need another map. I need a map of my inner terrain. And so I came up with the Soul Portal map. So I'm going to have, I'm going to share how we move through cycles, and that all the cycles are okay, even though sometimes we think, oh, this one's not okay because everybody's going to think I'm depressed if I don't leave the house. And so, of course, in COVID, a lot of us moved through. And now I personally love my house. But and then there's the clearing phase where you don't really want to dig, deep, and you're like, you feel this resistance and this fear, and just knowing that, oh, I'm in the clearing phase. Okay, I'm just gonna cry today, and all that energy will move through me, and then I can move back into my creativity and my inspiration and being an open channel. So we're just kind of move around the 7
love that.
And be able to just trust ourselves and go with the flow of who we are as an open channel to the love of the divine.
I love that. And giving women permission to feel what they're feeling. That is just wonderful. Thank you. I see a little one there. We'll have that one introduce themselves soon. And so then we have Gaelle. And Gaelle is doing Ignite Your Fire, Shine a Light, and Make a Difference. And Gaelle, which section are you in? Is it It's Your Life?
Yes.
I can't remember. Okay. Yes.
So yes, my name is Gaelle. I'm a motivational speaker and mindset mentor. And with me, you're going to overcome this lack of confidence that you have, this little nudge that you have within you, that you want to go for it and you don't know where to start. So it's really a workshop for you really to learn not giving a damn about what people think. Is really ignite your passion and go after your dreams unapologetically. So it's really to get your skills together, really to activate everything together, and really to be in a place where you can be bold, visible, and confident unapologetically. Because I believe in you and you deserve it.
Love that. Unapologetically, be who you are. Woo! I know you just got a lot of praise on that one from everybody. We're like, yes, women, we are who we are. I love it. Awesome. All right. And now we have Reverend Jenn Cormier, and you are presenting Surrender Your Grief. And which theme are you in, Jenn?
Get grounded.
That's right. The first one, theme of the day.
Yeah. So, this will just be an opportunity for people to come and be open with whatever they are grieving at this moment. And sometimes we think, that's one of my titles is grief guide and ceremonial artist. So that's my work now. That's become full time, helping people move through their grief and walk with their grief and transform and transcend and just be with that process. And I really see grief as a transformational healing journey, not as, it's dark, deep, sad, we don't want to go there. That we can actually use the energy of what's happening in our lives to find healing and to source it for the next chapter of honoring ourselves and becoming creative. So I'll just welcome whatever grief and loss is happening on that day, on July 10th, for whatever women show up in the workshop. Because sometimes we think, but I didn't have my mom die, or I didn't have my dad die last month. I'm not going through grief, but we have all of these different things. Life is just a series of things being born and things dying and things being born. So we're just constantly moving through loss. And, how do we get back to peace, and how do we get back to being ourselves? And, so just the number one thing is really, really embracing a quality of gentleness with ourselves and being like, what, exactly how I am right now is okay. So really just, and also utilizing, understanding grief as not just this dark, deep, bad thing, but as something that can teach us and something that can help transform us. So that's the lens I'll be coming from in this workshop.
I'm really glad to hear that, actually, especially in the light of the fact that we are celebrating moms to a large degree. When our child moves from preschool into kindergarten, or from 5th grade into the next big school. Like there's loss, like my little baby, my innocent little baby, you know, I'm granted I'm tired of changing diapers, but there's this, you know, there's this tenderness that shifts, right? And so, and when they graduate high school, we've got some empty nesters that may come to our event. There's some grieving there, you know, the transition, the change, and there's celebration of the growth of our children. So I know for me last year, I did and didn't make the choice to become self-employed. I loved my teaching. I loved being in the classroom, but I left my school district. And years before that, I left classroom teaching because I had to really accept the fact that my condition with my disability, I couldn't be a classroom teacher like I wanted to be. So there's all sorts of loss. It's not just about a certain person in our life passing away. There are a lot of things. So I'm really glad you stated that, because I feel like for all of us as facilitators, knowing that whatever our workshop is and whatever we are wanting to impart on the women that come, to remind ourselves that they are all at different places. So not to assume that someone who comes into Rebecca's workshop wanting to learn about confidence, they may not have had any idea that, oh, that self-care is what's going to do that. Right. So it's just knowing that these women are going to all come in from different places, and we welcome all of them, right, to try us out. So wonderful. All right. We're going to get to Kareen, and Kareen is presenting 3 simple tips for managing your mental health. So tell us about that.
Yes. So I'm a personal development and mental health specialist. And one of the things that I love to do is to help prevent certain things. I know that mental health is a very buzzword, and so I love to demystify it. So this is what we're going to do in the workshop. We're also going to be able to recognize what it is that are signs of distress for us. We're going to also help to increase resilience. So what does that mean for me in my situation, especially as a mom of teens? And just simple tips, resources, and tools to also prevent burnout and other mental health issues that we could be facing. And of course, lots of resources that will also help in order to make sure that we are empowered, you know, when it comes to understanding how our internal environment actually has the interaction with our external environment, and how we can be on top of all of that. So, yeah.
Fabulous. Fabulous. Thank you so much. Yep, you got some praise there. I love it. Wonderful. And I am going to be doing the workshop in the very last theme of the day called Relax. And it is demystify your teenagers' tantrums. We're going to learn a little bit more about what is really behind a lot of these tantrums. And I know it sounds funny to say teenager tantrums because we think about the terrible twos. Well, my kids didn't really have terrible twos. They waited till they were teenagers. So, you know, but I realized that the more that I could understand their tantrums, the better parent I became. And I didn't learn that their tantrums, I didn't learn from them what their tantrums were all about necessarily. What I learned was there were certain things about myself that I had to take care of in order for that communication to open up, in order for me to relax. And the more I relaxed, the more they became expressive and communicative with me. So I'm going to be helping you with 3 tips to understand how to demystify these tantrums, and also how to improve your communication skills to, you know, maybe engage in compassionate communication and even play again with your kids. So I'm super excited. So with that, I want to just ask each of you, thank you, everybody. I want to ask just each of you to, you can unmute, and I would say we're going to just do this popcorn style. So really quick, so I'm going to give you a moment to think about it. What are 2 things you are hoping women will get out of the retreat? Or why would you, a word of why you would recommend women attend this retreat? So just anything that comes to mind. I'm going to say mine: hope and joy.
Yeah, faith in themselves and just loving themselves. Yeah.
Empowerment
Thank
and joy.
Thank you.
Self-care.
Self-respect and self-love.
And some clarity on where they are, and it's okay to be there.
Yeah.
And connection and realizing they're not alone.
Beautiful. Woo! I love it. Love it. All right, let's give all these women out there that are going to come to our retreat some love. Woo! Everybody love them up. I love it. And so all of you heard it there. Please, I will post the link to the registration. If you have any questions about this retreat at all whatsoever, feel free to reach out to me. Feel free to reach out to any one of these women, because these women will also be presenting their this video in their groups, and through email. You can reach any one of us. And I'm trying to think what else. Did I forget anything? I think I just want to say July 10th, 9 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time to 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. It is 12 hours full of incredible opportunities to build joy, create more resilience in your lives, and hear from some amazing, wise, globally connected women. And that's, I think that's it. Anybody remember? Oh, there are 32 workshops. And there are 8 themes, and you can't go to all of them at once. So when you register, if you can't make it to the whole day, that's okay, because you can actually buy all the videos, and they'll be available as of August 1st. But you want to buy them ahead of time so we know that you've got them. And all that information will be in the registration. What's it called? The registration page. All right. So I am again going to say a happy goodbye to everybody. Thank you for being here, ladies and women, moms, empty nesters, doctors, healthcare workers. Sign up for this amazing retreat. Bye.
Thank you, Misha.
Bye.